Here to keep the chase going, share information, spread unity, preserve our heritage and our culture. We're trying to achieve something that you just can't catch. We're always trying to find a better way, trying to make better dogs. That's what Dixie Doggers Podcast is. That's who we are.
This episode is brought to you by Rankin Ranch 38 Cattle Company. Marc Rankin specializes in Brahma and Brahma Cross cattle in Oglethorpe County, Georgia. You can contact him at 407-832-2077. 407-832-2077. This episode is also brought to you by Phil Wilson of UC Hunting Properties. If you're buying or selling land, farms, or hunting property, these folks know land. You can contact him at 678-791-3483, 678-791-3483, or visit his website down below in the description.
All right, folks. Here we do it again. One more time. Do it again, do it again, do it again. And over and over and over. Episode 14,652. And I would like for everybody to know that I have a guest on tonight that is my homeboy, my friend, my partner, my amigo. And this guy can cook. I don't give a damn. He can cook. Mr. Cody Godwin, how we doing?
Doing all right, buddy. We can do anything. We're going to eat.
That's a fact, bud. I'm telling you. we ate good. We came and visited, and we are ready to come back and visit very soon.
Yes, sir.
We wanted to jump back in with you and kind of just see what you've been doing. I know you've been hunting a lot, and I've seen those dogs really taking shape and producing game. The listeners out there that don't know who you are, tell us who you are and stuff. And the ones that do know, then y'all just shut up and listen for a minute.
Yeah, Cody Godwin. I live right here in Northeast Florida. Been hunting about my whole life. I grew up. We ran basically a high fence area when I was growing up, and none of my family came from dogs. We all still hunted my whole life. Grandpa ran this basically as a 7,000 acre ranch for about 45 years, and I grew up out there still hunting and so forth. And about middle school, met a good buddy of mine, Mike Park. His daddy had hog dogs. And that's where it kicked off from there, just being a rebel, wanting to do something different than what I've always done. And hog hunting, and back then it wasn't like it is today. I mean, you didn't have the Garmins and everything. I mean, you listened for the dogs and you went. And that's where it all kind of started off for me. And then ever since then, I started getting dog shoot probably in 2007, 2008. And started messing with them from then. Ran cur dogs for a long time. And started getting into bear hunting around 2016, 17, somewhere around there. And fell in love with it. I mean, it's just a whole nother beast. Everybody's always told me, and they hog hunted with me many years and told me if I ever started doing it, I'd forget all about hog hunting. I'm not going to say they were wrong, but I'm not going to say they're right neither.
Yeah.
It's a whole different animal, but so yeah, that's basically my story there.
Good deal.
Hunt all over anywhere I can. Try to hunt some of the toughest terrain. To me, that's where you're going to find out what you got, what you're feeding.
Yes, sir, without a doubt. So tell us what kind of dogs you got, the breeds of dogs. We know you got hog dogs and bear dogs, and you have some dual dogs. Or have you got your whole pack to where they're kind of dual purpose now?
I've got them kind of 50-50 now.
That's good.
So to begin with, I was wanting to have a whole pack that I was going to do it all with. And actually, me and one of my buddies was talking about this the other night because we haven't kept up with each other like we had been. And last time he talked to me, I only had about 8 head of dogs here at the house. Now I got around 14, 15. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, what do you got so many dogs for? And I'm like, well, last time we talked, I just had my cur dog strand that I've had, forever, that I've blind bred up. Just a mixture of your typical cur dogs, just your black mouse and your cat dogs, and had them forever. And then, like I said, started bear hunting a little bit, and then back in my mind, what I was going to do was take a bear dog. And down here, the Dolan's breed is pretty big down here where I'm at, and all my buddies, that's what they typically hunt for the most part. Not all of them, but for a lot of them do. And took one of them, bred it back to one of my gyps, and I was going to run some half and half dogs, half Plott, half cur dog, and even got one from Kerry Brown, and he's doing the same thing at the same time I was doing, so I got one from him, and started them on hog and bear, and it did very well in both. Actually, way more than when I got from Kerry. He got killed this bear season down here in Georgia. Got slapped, didn't make it through it, so I lost him, but he was doing very well at it. But started getting a couple of just straight Plott dogs and running them now too. Kind of started figuring, as you start doing it, realize why these old men have been breeding these line of dogs as long as they have. It's hard to just go and recreate something, expect it to produce or be consistent in producing bear like they do. And it's hard for people to swallow, to be honest with you. I mean, put a lot of time and effort in it. And don't get me wrong, I still catch bear with these dogs. I'm talking about these 50-50 dogs. And they're heck on hogs, man. I mean, they'll eat a hog up. But to be a bear dog is a different story. I mean, it takes. I'll tell you something I heard Clay Newcomb say one time, and he couldn't cite where he heard it from, but a bear dog, out of all the animals that are bred, and we're talking race horses, border collies, poodles, they don't matter, whatever. You're trying to get a more unique, exhaustive trait out of a bear dog than anything else. And you think about that, I mean, that's pretty deep. Think about it. I mean, you're talking about a trail dog. You're talking about something that can locate a tree on the tree. You're not going to overrun it. Something that's got a cold nose, something that is athletic, something that can, got good feet, got grit, but can't be too nervy. Something, it can't be a coward. I've watched a bear cur a dog up in a heartbeat. I mean, I've seen some fine cur dogs, fine hog dogs get curled up on a big bear. So, I mean, you're talking about one of the biggest big game animal in North America. That can put the fear of God into something. So to think you can just go recreate something like that doesn't have generations of that behind it is almost ignorant, but I thought I could do it. and they do it. Don't get me wrong.
It takes a long time.
Yeah, and don't like I said, don't get me wrong. They catch bear. I've got plenty of videos of them doing it. But let's say consistently, like I said, I went to the mountains this past week. I ran bear up there, and we caught 7 in 2 trips. But sit here and tell you that they can hang with a number one bear dog, they're not going to do it.
Yeah, that's asking a lot from any animal, regardless. To like you said, to have that many different traits, because you got to have that. Like you said, you can't be too soft, but you can't be too rough either. I hear guys all the time talk about, well, my dog, they'll do this. They'll catch. I bet they'll catch a bear. Yeah, they might. They won't do it. They won't do it many times.
If they don't leave the woods from doing it the first time.
That's what I'm saying. It without a doubt. My little Oscar dog, Junior, Mr. Kiefer, I seen him back up there with him, and he run a bear a couple weeks ago. He got bit on the head. Luckily, it wasn't bad. You know what I mean? Pretty much just give him a good haircut. But it was very, very close. And all it is he's getting older and getting ornery. And he is a bad little dude. But I'd been running him on hogs consistently. And I think that was the first or second bear since he had been back up there. I think Oscar just forgot what he was doing. You know, he was like, "Oh Lord, I need to back up," you know. But
You just get ornery.
yeah, he's getting older and getting more ornery. But like I said, it's I noticed though with him being hunting as a bear dog, me bringing him down here, which he's been on hogs as well before, but me putting him on only hogs, he was a top notch little dog. Like he was way ahead of most of the other hog dogs that's been doing it for years and only been hog dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like he had more. I don't know. It was just he was different. I would take a bear hound in a minute and put it on hogs, but I don't know that you could take a hog dog and put it on bear and get that same level.
Yeah. Well, my experience, you know, doing that, a lot of times, you know, these bear hit the ground and you got a pack of dogs there, they're going to try to fight him, right?
Yeah.
And especially come like kill season, you know, if you shoot the bear and you don't have the dogs tied back, you know, they're going to go in there, they're going to try to catch that bear. I think when they get on a hog and they got a dog or two with them, they're thinking the same thing as that bear. They're going to try to catch him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no different to me than running a pack of run and catch dogs. You know, they're going to go there and hang that thing. And where we hunt, it takes too long to get there. And you just get your dogs butchered up. That's why I hear a lot of these old men, they won't run their, you know, their good dog or their bear dogs on a hog too much, because most of the time they end up disabled, you know, get your legs cut up and they just can't run no more, or they get killed. And to where, you know, then you say, well, they respect the bear. Well, you're like, well, hold on. So you won't run them on hogs, so you get killed, but they respect the bear. That don't make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
But really what it amounts to is they're nervy, you know, they got enough sense to know that they can't take down that bear, but that hog, they're gonna stretch him out.
We'll be back after a quick break.
And now, thanks to the sponsors and friends of Dixie Doggers. Animal Housing Solutions.
Boars N Broads.
Crockett Taxidermy.
Hardcore Hog Dogs.
Southern Cross Cut Gear.
Ada Y Transport.
4L Kennels.
The American Doghorn Museum.
Unique Hounding Hunting Supply.
Hogbaying.com.
Tuskers Magazine.
Mud Creek Hog Dog Trials.
I got you. Yeah, that now when you're talking these dual purpose dogs like you're running, what have you run into is like when you're training them? Have you run into any issues or trouble like during the training process? Is like, you know, if you got them started on one thing more than the other, or have you been doing 50-50 with them?
Not really. It's no more to me than breaking them from anything else. I don't like to run my dog. There's so many deer down here where we hunt at. I don't like to run them on deer. I mean, I'll they jump one as puppies, you know. I'll let them run it for a while, just get them used to running with their heads up and so forth. But after a while, I start pulling them off from them and let them, you know, correcting them in a sense, and just keep feeding them hogs or bear. And usually they get it on their mind. That's all they're going to, you know, focus on. Shoot, this about 3 weeks ago. I hadn't ran my cur dog since probably June. You know, I've been just focusing straight on bear since then. So I took them out the other day. They're all fat and out of shape, and we was rigging them down the road, and they rigged, and I turned them out. They went there about a couple hundred yards and jumped a hog, and I had them half and half dogs and a couple of them Plott dogs, and actually I had a little Oakley was in there, old Kimmer dog. They was all in the dog box once. I had all the straight hog dogs on one side and the old meat eaters on the other side. And anyway, they went here and jumped that hog, and they was running in that box, lit up, and I was just gonna let them cur dogs go for a little bit. And I looked, and it was a pretty good track in the road, so I was like, you know what, let's try to catch this thing, because they're probably about to get smoked. So I sent the other half of the box straight in, and man, they bowled in there and went the exact opposite way than the cur dogs. And I was like, you know, there'll be more hogs in there, you know. And they went in there and they sat down, they was hammering, and I looked, and they was showing treat, and I got to listening to them, and they was treating pretty good. And one by one left and started going to my cur dogs, but them Plotts and old Oakley, they sat right there and kept hammering. So I said to myself, I guarantee you they got a bear in the tree. And sure enough, got there and we had a sow and 3 cubs in the tree. It was tree, and the mother one they left and sucked to them cur dogs running that hog. But so yeah, I mean, you'll probably run into that, I'd reckon. But I mean, as far as an issue, not really. I haven't ran into nothing as far as training them on hogs that's really hindered them at all. They've took to it pretty well and pretty fast. And then got good handle on. The whole point of doing that was, you want the drive and the stamina of a hound to stick with one all day. I mean, you came down here running with us. These hogs down here will run.
Oh yeah,
miles and miles and miles, and you just want something to try to keep the bottom to them. But down here I like to have a lot of nose, so I was hoping to breed some nose and put some more size to them. Swimming through all this water, something a little bit bigger, and two, to be able to, like I said, I was wanting to have a pack of dogs I could do both with. But like I said, I've come to find out in reality it's going to be hard to produce consecutively with just running some half and half dogs with bears. So that's why I'm starting to gather some more of these old Plott dogs up.
Yeah, we got you. And I mean, in all honesty, like you said, it's the reality of it. Not a lot of people will actually take heed to that. Like you said, they'll ram their head against the wall and just keep on doing it and keep on and keep on and keep on. And sometimes they'll hit a lick and they'll have one or two that'll be okay. And that gives them enough hope to do it again.
Yeah.
But in the reality of it, if you've got dogs that have been done a certain way and bred for 50 years, your 5-year program cannot beat that 50-year program.
No. Well, the reality is they've probably never seen a real one either. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I mean, I still today haven't owned one, and I've seen them, and it's something you strive and strive. I mean, everybody wants to breed for better dogs and better than what they're feeding now, but in reality, I mean, it's hard to get that. Probably the biggest thing about breeding, everybody just thinks they're breeding something, and really, I mean, you've got to own something to be able to breed something. And I heard Ira Jones tell me one time, 0 + 0 = 0.
Yep.
And that's not trying to be mean, but that's reality.
It's a fact. Well, Lee Robinson, we talked to him last night, and that's what he was saying. He deals with genetics. He's a teacher. I mean, he's created a breed, and that was his whole gist of it. He was like, genetics don't mean shit without a good dog.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. You have to have a foundation to start with. If you don't know dogs and you don't know what you're looking at, then you'll never know if you can. You won't know what you're doing.
That's right.
And that's a pretty good analogy there, Mr. Ira. 0 + 0 = 0. Yeah, that's a fact.
I like that.
I always say shit plus shit is shit.
Yeah,
that's the same thing.
Yeah.
But
I can tell you, I mean, and you're talking about Ira. I mean, so me and Kerry went to his house one day, pick up a dog, and talk about wealth of knowledge.
mm-hmm.
Golly, I could sit there and just wrote note after note after note, listen to him on that front porch. And I call him, blow him up every day if I can, just to talk with him.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'd encourage anybody, if you've got a man like that caliber has been doing it for that long, to reach out to him and try to be the best friend if you can.
Yeah,
that stuff there is going away. Nobody else here is going to share that unless you go get it.
Yeah, and a lot of the older men, for a long time, they really wouldn't share it, but they're getting to where they will. A lot of them will share it now.
Yeah.
20, 30 years ago, some of those men, they were like, a lot of it goes back to getting burned and just screwed over so many times.
Mm-hmm.
You get tired of it because, like you said, somebody's trying to breed up the next best thing. And in all reality, these guys already have it. All you got to do is get it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something else. Like speaking like that right there, something he said, he likes to use all them little analogies like that. But, you're talking about dogs. He's analogy one time says like trees. He said, you got a couple guys worried about some trees, but they're not looking at the whole forest.
Yeah.
You got a bloodline. It don't take but one outcross to ruin that whole bloodline. I mean, anybody can put a dog over top of a dog.
Yep.
But all it takes, is, you got a bloodline that's been there and is producing, and you go out cross something to it, and you just wipe that whole generation out right there.
Yes.
You got to keep that family dogs how it is.
There's no doubt about that. And I mean, and it can continue to progress when you got guys like yourself and Kerry Brown that are trying to produce better dogs. You're trying, you want to have something better. You have high standards. And so you're not just going to deal with a bunch of junk anyway. If more people would do that, the dog world would be a lot better anyway, without a doubt. But you know how that goes.
Yeah, you got to have standards. That's for sure. I mean, if you don't have standards, what are you breeding for? And honestly, I've never really considered myself much of a breeder. I mean, I just always bred best of best, and stuck a dog over the next, and hoping that it's going to produce what you got. And that's another thing. I mean, I've learned. I mean, don't breed a dog if you don't want another one just like it. If you got a dog there that's, you're hoping that breed these two together, and you think, okay, I'm gonna put this dog on top of it. She is slow and but she's built like I like, but I'm gonna breed this dog to her and maybe get some better nose. Well, chances are you're gonna get what you got right there.
Yep.
If you don't like what you got there breeding, don't breed it. And that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
I mean, standards is huge.
So with the dogs that you're running now, are they open or silent? They give mouth on track a lot for your bear dogs. Let's talk about the bear dogs.
I'm talking about just the Plott, like the straight Plott dogs, or the half and half dogs.
Plott dogs,
yeah, they. So the regular Plott dogs, yeah. I mean, you put them on the track and they smell it, they're barking.
Yeah.
The half and half dogs, typically they won't trail open, and now once it's jumped, they'll bark here or there. They've been running a while. They usually shut up after a couple 100 yards, and they ain't gonna say another word for the most part. Now if they're on him, and they're watching him run, they're probably gonna bark quite a bit. But
yeah,
trailing wise, they ain't gonna say a word. But the full Plott dogs, I mean, you put on the track, and they ain't barking, they ain't smelling it.
Okay. So those the full Plott dogs that you're running now, what bloodlines are you using?
So I got one dog that is full Dallins dog, got another one that's Laurel Mountain and half value Cajun, and then the other one I got is actually a Dallins dog as well. And then then the other ones I've got are just my half and halves. I got two that are half Dallins, half back to my cur line, and then I had the one that, like I said, that I got from Kerry. It was Laurel Mountain and back to his stock. But and then I got the little Kimmer dogs. I'm using them for bear dogs as well.
Yeah.
And hog dogs. I mean, I run them on both.
So how you liking those? How you liking the Kimmers?
I like them, man. For running both, I mean, to me, you can't beat them dogs. I'm excited about this one I got from Mr. Gardner. I mean, he's got a personality bigger than, I think, just about like a regular human. I mean, get home, let him out the pen, he try to talk to you.
Yeah.
he's telling you he's something else, and he'll get on your butt. He's been home all day, locked in that kennel. You let him out when he gets here, and boy, he's gonna let you know about it.
We might bring one or two with us when we come down.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
We got one named Fred. He has I think when Jeremy Gardner come over to the house, he's been by here a time or two, and he's been grabbing that dog and pulling his ears. Because I'm telling you right now,
got some flaps.
Look here, I ain't even sent Jeremy a picture of nothing lately, but that rascal there, he's still, he ain't a year old yet.
Yeah. He'll be a year old in 3 days.
Oh, really? I was thinking, so we got him at the spring hunt.
Yeah, he's born December 7th of last year.
That's right. So he'll be a year old, and his ears are 5 years old.
Heck yeah.
I'm dead. That son of a gun looks like he is. His ears are longer than Bama's ears already. And you talking about a mouth? Oh, my Lord. He sounds like a hound.
His voice has finally changed, and so he ain't squeaking no more.
He quit squeaking.
He let out a big old ball the other day, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, he don't do
back
nothing,
there,
though.
No, he's too busy. He's got like a 5-second memory. Every time we show him something, he's like, okay, this, and he'll look at you, be like, what are we doing? And then he's like, he might bite the treat. Like he don't know what's going on, but like he can win stuff. But once he gets to whatever he winded, he's like, I don't know what to do.
He's done winded something else.
He acts like Ricky Bobby. He's like, I don't know what to do with my mouth. Like I don't know. He just like loses. Like he just starts literally like will just start shaking. He's so just like into it. I'm like, if you ever slow down, you will get it.
I think he's going. I think he's going to be a little late bloomer, but I really think he's going to turn out for sure.
Yeah,
yes.
I was really impressed with the mouth of them dogs.
Yeah,
I mean this one here, we actually say like during kill day, staying at the camp and all. The one I got from Jeremy, he's just a puppy.
Yeah,
and so my wife brings him everywhere. It's her little dog, and so she brings him everywhere. He stays inside the camp house. I mean, he runs and kids like they're freaking deer. And them boys out there, they hear him start bawling. They look at me and say, "Why did you cut that buckskin Plott dog's tail? Like, why did you cut it?" And I look at him like, "Buddy, that ain't no Plott dog. That's a Kimmer dog. What is that? They ain't never heard of no crap a Kimmer dog. What's in a Kimmer dog?" I said, "Well, if Robert would tell everybody, we'd figure it out. But good luck."
It's a mountain cur with yellow lab, I think.
Yeah.
Robert killed me years out. But I mean, like, I ran OMCBA dogs for many, many years. Still got Foxy, and like you'll be surprised at how many of those Kimmer puppies you get that's yellow. They came out of a litter that had a black one and 4 brindles.
Yep.
You know, but now to register a yellow one, a yellow puppy has to be out of 2 registered yellow parents. That's what they, the way they do their registry. But you can dual register them with OMCBA and KSBA if the parents are different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it.
Yeah, because they're just mountain curs with a little splash of color. That's what I like to call them. But I like them old brindle ones.
Yeah, they're short, man.
Man, I like them. But my buddy Jared, he's got a black puppy right now, black Kimmer.
Mm-hmm.
And so does Cole. Cole's got Gene Montgomery in him. Gene Van's got a black one.
Yes.
And Cole's running it right now. Those black Kimmers are sharp.
They look so good. They look so good.
There'll be one straggled around here before too long.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite color there. I like the dogs that from far they look like a regular old black dog when they get up close. So you got barely see that brindle shining in there when the sun hits it. That's my favorite color right there.
Well, now these the ones we're talking about are jet black.
Yeah.
Solid black.
Yeah, they're black.
Yeah, that's what I want one. I want one. I don't want any color on it except black.
Yeah.
Just to have it to breed to a solid white one or buttermilk. I could have an interracial couple of dogs right there, bro.
A litter of Oreos.
Yeah, I'm gonna send them to Florida. Yeah. You think they'd come out chocolate?
Name peanut butter.
We actually do have Louie in the breed pen with our mountain cur Foxy.
Yeah,
there you go. Those should throw some really good puppies.
Yeah, most.
How's them? How's your outlaw curs coming on?
Don't you worry about them brindle killers there, son. Don't you worry.
So I got Jeremy garnered. You remember how Jeremy was like he delivered this what was it, a female puppy to a guy, and then the guy's like, this is male, and he's like, what do you mean I only have one female?
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Well, so I have counted these puppies like since the day they were born. Over and there's 5. There's only 5 puppies. And I've been like, all right, we got 4 females, 1 male. And I was out there the other day and I was clipping toenails and I had one, and you pick them up, you feel a little wiener if it's got a wiener. Well, I grabbed the next one and I felt the wiener again. And I was like, what's going on? And I picked them both up and I was looking and I was like, we have 2 males. What's going like? And I was just like distraught. Like I still cannot figure out what happened, but somehow I miscounted. So I don't know. I don't know.
I know when Jacob and Christian came down last weekend. had a surprise visit on that. We had a good time. We caught a nice boar hog and went deer hunting and stuff. But anyway, Christian seen them puppies, and dude, he was beside himself with them. I told him, I said, well, there's some other ones over here, some nice little yellow cur dogs, and Nate texted me. He said, hey, Christian was wanting one of them puppies, and so I was showing him the puppies, and he just acted like he wasn't interested, and I was like, well, what's the deal? Jacob said, I think he was wanting one of them brindle ones. I was like, shit, I don't like you that much, buddy. He was like, I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't have but just a few of those. And I realized then, I was like, man, I said, it's going to be so hard to get rid of these. Dude, they look good. You know what they look like? Plott.
I seen the picture. I knew what they look like.
Some gun they look like, and I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, man, if they'll stay this size, stay the build and have those pancake ears and stuff. I said, I'm going to go to the Plott Bay at Hickory Crossings, and I'm going to take a pair of them up there, and I'm going to mess with everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, they get out there and start yakking like a daggum house dog.
Yeah, they'll be out there yipping and carrying on. They're going to be like, what the hell's happening here? And I'm going to be like
a pack of coyotes.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we can prove her out and get one of Mr. Andy's fine Plott hounds crossed into her.
Yeah.
Put some.
There you go.
We actually we're actually liking the dogs with a little bit of hound in them.
Yeah.
At times. At times.
I made a breeding. Hopefully see how it turns out. I took one of my half and half dogs and bred it back to my old lead dog. I retired my tough dog.
Oh yeah.
So there'll be 3/4 cur out of my stock and 1/4 of that Dollins, and I shot them out everywhere. That's funny. I said that Nate. I had a dog handler come pick up the dog, Desmond, and who else was it? I think it was Rankin. They was getting the puppies, and Desmond was wanting a male dog, and I had the puppies in there, and I sent them pictures of them in the crate getting ready to leave, and the woman shut the door, and Desmond started blowing my phone. He said, that's a female. I said, ain't no female, because I'm keeping the only female we got. He goes, I'm telling you, that's a female. I told the lady, hold on, so let me look in the crate. I looked in there. Sure enough, it was a female dog.
And that's the only female.
Yeah. So I ended up having 2 females, and I sent that one to Texas and gave him the male he was wanting. He thought I was trying to get him on that one, but it was just an honest mistake. Like he said, and really, I relied on my wife there. She was the one that counted them all, and I just kept calling that little female a male dog. It's mean as a male dog.
Yeah.
Hopefully see what those little dogs are going to do. Heck, Ryan's is already, he's catching catfish and picking up the yard and making burn piles today. So, hey, they're doing pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, Rusty, he sent me a couple of puppies, some yellow dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, I do not want to jinx it by no means, but.
And how you feel about them yellow dogs?
I'm going to tell you right now, them 2 right there, this is their second time I showed them a hog was yesterday. I showed them a pig a few weeks ago, well, probably a month ago or better. They were, 4.5, 5 months old.
Mm-hmm.
I showed them one yesterday that's quite a bit bigger, and that little boar hog was pissed off. Rodney's on a walking cane because that little boar hog whooped his ass. I'm dead serious, bro. Like, it bruised his kidney. This man can't walk. He's in bad shape.
Well, I thought my brother.
That's what I told him. I said, Rodney, what happened? He called me. He was like, hey, these guys got some pigs up here in the corral trap. We can work the pups before they knock them out. It's like, okay. I was like, well, I'll come up there. He was like, well, I'll go over here and mess with them. I was like, look, you know how this goes. Without me there, you will get yourself in trouble, Rodney. I'm Rodney's handler. I got to hold him back. And that rascal, he called me a little while later, and he was going to take Sally just to catch one of them and pull it out. Well, pig gets out of the trap. Sally's gone hunting. He ain't got a collar on her. He ain't got nothing. He's out there in sweatpants and Crocs or slides. And
goodness.
yeah, and well, then he did get that one little boar hog, and I'm telling you, that little boar hog's what, 100 pounds?
Yeah.
Maybe 100 pounds, and he was,
Probably about 70.
But he's probably 70 pounds, but in his mind, he's 350.
You couldn't tell him nothing.
Dude, that little guy would, if them pups lost interest, he would run them down.
Goodness gracious.
Oh yeah, but now we had, I don't know how many puppies we even had up there yesterday. All of them but one kicked off good.
Yeah.
But them yellow dogs I got from Rusty, that's it for them. They don't need no practice.
Yeah.
They were starting the other
thing,
dogs.
Yeah.
They literally Tough was starting the other dogs.
Heck yeah, dude.
So I'm
Can't beat
happy
that.
with them.
Oh yeah.
So now,
no, I mean it takes, dude. I'll tell you, it takes getting or hunting like we have, just venturing out hunting with other people. Like I said, my lines always did well down here. I've never had issues trying to catch hogs where I live at, or hunting North Georgia, South Florida, or anything like that. But you get up there, going up around like I did this past week, going to Tennessee, and you go up there and try to hang with them boys, trying to catch hogs with the dogs I got down here. And not that they can't do it, they can do it, but it's two different calibers there.
It is.
And you get dogs from, like you're saying there, from Rusty, from out that way. I mean, you start seeing different things there, and what you like, and how they work. And like I said, I started running with Kerry's line there, and like me and him's taught 100 times over. And I mean, I just tickle how his dogs do on hogs. I mean, they do great.
Yes.
On hogs. And way more dog I had. I can talk as much crap I want to about him now because he's dead, but I mean, I didn't have nothing I could keep up with him. And that dog there, he died, didn't even hit 2 years old.
Yeah, I was thinking to say, when we came down, he was just a little over a year old, and that sumbitch was going. Like he was hunting.
Yeah,
I
didn't even turn him out that much, but
I know. Yeah, you only turned him out a couple times.
Yeah, I'm talking about just flat out get down and roll.
Yep.
I mean,
now that dog Jacob has got.
Yep, that's litter mate.
Skinny.
And that's way more litter mate.
Dude, that's some gun right there. I like Skinny.
Mm-hmm.
He rigged a boar hog, and I got to give the props to him now. We were traveling east to west, and we went down in this little valley, and we had a north wind, which would be to our right. Okay, they rigged the hog 200 yards on the left hand side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Now, keep in mind, when I say we had a north wind, it was about 10 miles an hour north wind.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, hell, that's pretty good. And now they went in there. They got him up. That's about 200 yards. Mm-hmm. And they had him made pretty good at around 400. We got close, and I threw a couple of running catch dogs on the ground to go ahead and let's anchor him right there, because because he was moving just a little, but not enough to say that he was broke, because he wouldn't. They had that. It was just two dogs Jacob had on the ground.
Yep.
And but that was a pretty
Skinny and Mason.
Yeah. So I mean, I got to give that shout out to them two dogs right there. They really done good. And I had to give a little shout out to Jacob. He done good. It went like a hog hunt should supposed to go.
Oh yeah.
He's been listening somewhere.
Yep.
Not to me. He don't listen to me worth a damn.
That whole litter, like I said, I went up there and hunt with Josh, and he had Payne, so that's the other litter mate to that same litter right there. And
what's his name?
He's a Rick Payne.
Payne, okay.
Yeah, he had Payne, and he's a good little bear dog and hog dog. But he talking about some rigging machines though. That whole litter right there will
rip
your tails off. Real game driven, fast, rolling their head up. And that's my concern. See, the line I bred to these Dollins, they're more heads down. Yeah. They're going to grind out a track. And, just me and Kerry talking back and forth. I'm like, Kerry, I just don't know how good track dogs these dogs are going to be. And he's like, they ain't got to be good track dogs. They're good enough. They run their head up tracking. I'm like, you're so full of crap. Let me tell you. They do.
But they do.
I've watched them. They'll do it. But, and running him on bear and all, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, I've ran that line there on bear and fought plenty of bear with him and mine too now. And then going or Josh and me and him just talking back and forth and like I say, and we're just the 50-50 dogs. They will do it, and I'm not talking no crap about none of them. I'm not saying nothing I won't say to nobody or to anybody's face, but to they will not compete with a number one straight up bear dog.
Yeah.
Like Josh he's got a problem, and he'll openly tell you. He told me, he will smoke them, and it's way more did the same thing too. He'd smoke a lot of them dogs on a running bear and stop it before most of the dogs caught up, and these are straight Plott dogs too now, and be baying the bear. But when it came to treeing, they weren't tree dogs. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I got back to talking earlier. You talking about a more unique, exhaustive trait out of a dog. And that's locating a tree. A lot of times, and way more did the same thing. He'd blow past a tree. Even my cur dog, he's half an ounce I bred up. They're running a bear. That bear climbs the tree. They'll blow right on past it. They'll go 300-400 more yards past the tree. And these Plott dog, or they don't even have to be, let's not even say a Plott dog, any dog. They not talking about no color or design here. To be a tree and water, but they come in right behind it and tree right up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just stuff like that is where you're talking about a number one dog, a number one bear dog. He's got to be able to do all that to a T. And building a pack of bear dogs, that's what he's talking about. It's so hard. I think that's why. And now I'm not. I started my dogs off on hogs, my straight Plott dogs, but I'm not gonna put them on no more hogs just for the fact I had one trash on a hog this past week, put on a hot bear. She went and run it, and I guess coming across a hog, ran him, stopped him, and got her whole butt end cut up.
Okay.
And this little dog I'm talking about, she's done been bit by 3 snakes, slapped by a bear. Now she done got cut up by a hog, and she's only 11 months old. And
Okay.
and we've killed Power Bear over. She's knock on wood, might be something special, but I can't afford to lose her or something like that. Too hard to make, too hard to find. You know what I'm saying? And all these dogs are like that. So I'm just gonna keep them on straight bear. I mean, it's too hard to do that. I mean, to come by them. I mean, people breed them for their percentages. I mean, you can breed good dog over good dog over good dog, and never gonna have that. Usually, never gonna make that same good dog.
That's right. And that, excuse me, we got that dog Louis, and Louis is a multi-purpose dog. Louis is not great at any of it, but he is consistent.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And when I say consistent, he hunts hard, and he knows what we're hunting. So that's the only way that you can run him. Now, like you said, I can't wait to put him in a bear race myself. Is just to say, hey, we also have run him on bear. Is he a bear dog? No. Is he a deer dog? No. Is he a hog dog? No.
The one thing I
Is
like
he a squirrel
about
dog?
Louis
No. But he
is
can do all of it.
if another dog gets on tree, though, Louis will tree.
Oh yeah, he's a
That's
tree
one
minded.
thing I
Well, he's
like
a
about-
full blooded Kimmer, so I mean he should be tree minded.
He just like when we've been recovering deer with him, like he was talking about like running with the head up. Well, that's great and all, except when the game's sitting still and there ain't no wind, and that has been like his like pain in the ass moment. Is he's wanting to pick his head up and run. I'm like, Lou, you're gonna have to put your nose down and like try and like work this track. And so I've been like having to restart him a few times, but usually after about like the second time, get him started over the track, he's like, fine, I'll put my head down. And then he'll actually run the track, and then he usually finds the deer. And I'm like, why didn't you just...
He has found every deer that's been shot that he's put him on.
Yeah.
The only two that he hasn't found, they were not hit. We found nothing at the shot site. We found no blood, no hair, no nothing anywhere. And we looked and looked. So he has been really consistent on that. And we've talked about just leaving him on that alone.
Yeah.
Just letting him be a blood trail dog.
Yeah, because that one that we went to go track that you had missed, because Dad and I both, or Logan and Dad missed one. I missed one the other day, but we didn't have to put Louis on it. That's how bad it was. It wasn't convincing at all.
Yeah. So,
and Louis goes over there and he starts sniffing around. Dad's like, well, it ran towards this hill, and we start going off the hill, and Louis starts yipping. And I was like, well, he usually don't voice on track on a deer recovery. And I go down, and there's like pig rooting all down the side of the hill. I was like, oh, he's finna find something. He said, there ain't no deer around here.
Yeah, got bored.
Yep, and that's what it was. He's got bored. But I will say this: as soon as we walked up there, he came back out and he just turned and looked at us. I looked at him. I was like, "Come on, get over here." He come straight over there, went back to work. Never got off of it.
That's right.
So, but like you said, it's too hard to find one. It's too hard to make them.
That's right.
So if you've got one that's a bear dog, run it on bear. If you've got a hog dog, run it on hogs.
Yep.
And like I said, I know a bear dog's got to be way more than it is to make hog dogs and stuff like that. But hog dogs are hard enough already.
Yeah. And depending on where you hunt, you can take just about any kind of breed and make you a hog dog. When I was young, we used to go to the pound and pick up the best hog dog.
Yeah.
We got there and catch hogs with them. But to go out there and I'm just saying this out of experience. Two hardest places, and I'm not saying it's being biased, but just because where I've been, two hardest places I've ever hunted is over here on the edge of Okefenokee Swamp where I hunt, and then going up there in the mountain.
Yeah.
It'll humble you in a second. And to me, my buddy Walt that we went to Tennessee together this past year. We're going to try to start hunting a new state every year, and just seeing how many bear we catch in every state.
Yeah.
We're going to start trying to do just a little vacation, something we can do going forward and have fun with. But to do that, I'm not able to just take, a strain of dogs that I've just bred up here in my backyard and do that with. You want to take something that's had many generations behind it to back it up, to do something like that. I can tell you something too that, sitting on that front porch of ours that day, he told me, he challenged me with something, and it was something he was challenged with too, and something that just stuck in the back of my mind. I share it with y'all, and it's pretty deep thoughts to think about it. He said that there's a lot of people that can breed dogs, and a lot of people out there that's just into that, just breeding dogs. And he said sometimes there's some good hunters out there also, and there's fellas out there that just kill a lot of game. They kill a pile of game, but they don't really breed a lot. They get a lot of dogs from other people and buy and whatnot, but they're hard hunters. They're local legends. They ain't nobody's gonna kill a mini bear or mini hogs, or let's say squirrel, for instance. He ain't going out hunt them.
Yeah.
But he said there ain't many people out there that can do both.
I agree with that.
Think about it. You know what I'm saying? Think about that.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree with it. I've never been a dog breeder myself. I've got dogs from other people, and I could breed them dogs together.
Right, and like
for myself.
When I was saying that earlier, I don't consider myself a breeder, even though I've had my own line for I don't know how long.
Yeah,
but I'm just putting dogs over top of dogs. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking about my percentages or whatnot. I won't find one of them out the list that I can make a hog dog out of. They're going to catch a hog. I'm not worried about that. But you start really getting into all these different traits, and you think about the gene pool, and what are you trying to get out of this? What's the percentage out of this breeding you're doing here that's going to actually make something, and are they going to be able to produce something? You can have a line of dogs, right? And I know y'all seen it too. You can take a dog that just ain't that good of a coon dog, came out of the line of coon dogs, he might be the best bear dog you ever seen.
Yep.
You went down and he turned out to be a good bear dog, and but you breed him to something. He's a jam up bear dog, but he ain't got a bunch of bear dogs behind him. You breed him to something else, probably don't get none.
Yeah, and like I said, I done my American version of the high terrier, and that's when I knew. Then I was like, this is something that's not going to be a year or 2 years. And I say I done it. It started out, there was several of us that were doing it. When other people started the project, I just wound up sticking with it after everybody else got out of it. So all I did was just hang in there. But it's a big process, and it takes many years, not a year or two, but many years to get to the what you want or what you're after, if you ever get there. And then when you get to the point where you're saying, man, this is what I've been after right here, You can breed
Yep.
those, and then it goes to shit.
Oh yeah.
Right after, I mean, same dogs. Like you said, it's just one of them things. But doing the percentages, because like I had mine at, I had X amount at 50%, then I had, 30% on this one and 20%, or I'd have 15%. People were like, well, how are you doing it? Hey, you can't just do quarters of stuff? Or nope, I got to have a certain percentage. And I mean, I had to do 6 breedings with all these different breeds to get this one deal that I'm doing. Man, it's a lot of damn work.
Oh yeah.
And going in behind that, you got to have enough dogs there on your yard and on your place to keep and to test them. If you don't test and hunt, then you don't know what the hell you're producing, number one. Number two, if you don't have however many head of dogs there, I had 80 here at the house, and then I had another yard with 30 plus dogs on it. It was ridiculous. Over 100 head of dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You can't give those dogs the amount of time that they need. First off,
No, not at all.
So now you've went, and all you're doing is breeding damn dogs. Like you said, it's so hard for somebody to be a breeder and a hunter and do all of it at a high level.
Yep.
And I didn't realize that. I really didn't until I actually done it. And the more I done it, the harder it was, and the more I wanted to do it then. And once I really realized, after 10 years of it, and I don't know, I couldn't even imagine the amount of money and the amount of time, but we got to a point where I was like, this is as far as I'm going with it, and this is what I wanted, and that's what I done.
Yep.
I don't want to do that shit again. You know what I mean? It's like that's a lifelong process. Those men like Ira Jones, Roy Clark, all the Plott family, Mike Collin, all them guys, it's a lifelong deal for them.
Oh yeah.
So unless you're going to put 30 years into something, just go get a dog from proven lines.
That's right. And do the best you can to keep it up.
Yeah. You can keep it up. Like you said, you can keep it up and still produce good dogs. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Mm-hmm. That's what I hear a lot of people, I don't like talking about papers. I'm not a paper hunter. I'm not. And that's true. And like I said, I'm not into, paper dogs and all that. But, you get a dog that, like the guys you just named, they're going to be papered. And the reason they're papered is they can go back and find them dogs to breed to. They can see an old boy that, he might live out in Wisconsin. He's got, the second uncles to that dog, He can get a hold of that fella and go find him. It's not all because, they're purebred. It's to find them guys or gals and find them dogs you can throw them back to,
Me and Nate, we went on a venture. It's been quite a few years ago, but we went. I bought every living sibling that off the last litter that I'd had, and some of these dogs was 7, 8, 10 years old, but I knew who had them through the papers.
That's right.
And we did. I went back and bought them, and I was like, that way I could get back to them. There was a purpose because, like I said, I wasn't worried about the papers. I knew what the dogs were.
That's right.
So as far as like if you're looking at papers for you yourself, are you looking at parents, grandparents, or great grandparents? What are you looking for when you look at that?
I'm looking honestly all the way up to great grandparents. I'm just trying to make sure that line's consistent. Make sure it's been bred within that family, going from one to the next, all the way far back as I can find it going. I mean, you take this dog I got here 7 generations back, it's all pretty much the same stuff over on top of another on top of another.
Yeah.
And just making sure that it's got it's got what you want stacked behind it. Let's say if I'm a coon hunter, I'm gonna make sure it's got coon dogs behind it. I don't want a bunch of bear stock mixed in with something I'm gonna attract take coon hunting, because more likely I'm not gonna have a coon dog. And just and talk to them, talk to them people, and talk to them individuals, and try to see what the percentages are. See what they got producing out their line. And I'm probably gonna mess this up, but something else I heard Ira sit here and say was back in I I think he said like in the 70s or 80s. One of the colleges down there used to have they'd open up a vet clinic down there, and you just bring your dog up there, and it's basically free. And they'd go down there and run. They'd be there in bear season. They get a dog chewed up or whatever, and they'd be on the way home and swing through there, and old boy would look at the dog, and he got talking to a guy, and the boy was fixing up the dog, and he asked Ira if he could go hunt with him, and man, he said yeah. So he took the fellow hunt with him and got talking with him, and asked him how he got into the line of work he was doing, and he said that he actually bred German Shepherds for the service. Him and his team would go to Germany, and they would get these German Shepherds from over there in Germany, and his team would check them out, look at them, and they had some over here that they would the same stock from over there, but they'd be breeding them over here. And, I asked him, like, what percentages, y'all turn out to be like number one dogs, and he said around 10%.
Ooh.
And I was like, man, that's not very high, turnout. And the fellow said, but they'd get dogs from over there, around a year old, and that they'd start and this and that. And I said, well, what was a percentage of the dogs that you'd bring back from over there that was, already going that you bring back over here? And he says probably around 25-30%. He's like, still like, man, I think that ain't very good. You get dogs like that, and they're only making 30% making dogs. He's like, well, you're just not getting it. He's like, that 10% is dogs that we're gonna put in front of a troop that's gonna smell like that bomb, and he's not gonna miss nothing.
Yeah.
The other dogs we'll put with police officers. We're gonna put with firefighters. Like they still got a job. But they're just not that number one dog. You get to thinking about it that way. 10%, 20% just probably ain't that bad no more. You talking about a dog that don't miss, the actual number one dog. And that's the thing. Everybody got to realize not everybody's got a number one dog in their pack.
Yeah.
Until you've actually seen one, you know what he is. And it's a dog that just ain't gonna miss. It's gonna be everything you could ever imagine. So talking about percentages and number one dogs, I mean that's what you got to start thinking about.
Yeah, when like I've said it before, and me and Lee Robinson, that's what we were talking about last night. He breeds every on percentages and stuff like that, and take him in the house with. And I thought I had a hog dog until I seen one.
That's right.
And when I seen one, I was like, oh my God. And I had a dog that was good. I mean, like, it was a really good dog. But then when I seen one that when you opened the dog box, it was throwing rocks in your face, and it did not come back. And you went to it when there was a hog. And that's the only time. You didn't say, well, we'll go up here and pick him up and we'll go over here and redo it. No. That was it. You turn him out and you catch a hog.
Mm-hmm.
And it don't matter if it's 4 hours, 40 hours. It don't matter. Like you said, and they don't miss. If you've never seen one, then you don't know.
That's right.
Lord, I wish I had one. God almighty.
I'm with you.
It'd be nice.
I'm with you 100%, brother.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy with the young stuff that we've got now. I think we might have one or two in there that's going to be hard to beat, but there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
No matter what, and maybe I'll get the greatest dog of my life in this litter, one of these litters, I hope.
I pray you do. When you do, let me know about it. I'll see if I can get a clone off of it or something.
That's what you say. We'll bring back to it. We'll bring that sucker to everything because, guess what? It ain't never going to happen again.
That's right. That's another thing. I mean, you take your best jit dog, breed to your best mill dog. A lot of times they ain't going to produce nothing.
Yeah. Dude, I've had that happen.
Two mediocre dogs. You take two of them, mediocre dogs, and breed them, and more times than not, they're going to produce your best dog.
Yep. And I've done that. I've done it to where we've bred the absolute best to the best and turned out a very high percentage of really good dogs. And then we bred them again and turned out a lower percentage, and it's like, man, what happened? But now, last night when I was talking to Lee, one more thing. He said that every dog that they bred. Now this is on him. Now you know what I'm saying, and it makes a lot of sense. He said, but every dog that he had that didn't turn out top notch, he didn't do his part 100% in some form or fashion. And when he looked back on it, he said, well, I didn't spend as much time, or I didn't do this, or I didn't do that. We forget that part when we talk about this.
Yeah,
There's no doubt.
Me and Miles Threadgill was talking about that today, and we was talking about finding foundation stock, but also fixing issues in dogs. And that's what he was talking about. Is like, when is the point of, do I need to try and correct this issue in this dog, or is this dog a lost cause? Where's the line drawn?
Well, if it's been like Cody's talking about, you've got that line for 40 years, you ain't got to fix nothing.
Yeah.
All you got to do is do your part and give it time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the consistency is there. If the dog is making mistakes, you did that.
Oh, yeah. Unless you got the dog from somebody else.
Yeah,
that's what the dog.
That's what I'm saying. There's always the other part. But my point is, if it's going straight from something like that, yeah. But now when you're doing new stuff, and it's only just a generation or two, there's shit you don't know what's going to happen.
And it's like there's probably going to be quirks and kinks that come up. And
listen to a podcast with Steve Hurd on it. And you want to hear about some intense line breeding. Yes, sir. And he's a Plott man out there, I want to say around, I think he's Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And he also, he breeds horses and all that too. But he breeds his so type. You talking about, he said the consistency is like a can of Vienna sausages. You know what you're going to get every time you open the top.
Yeah. And that's what we did with our bulldogs in the game dog world. And that's why I don't understand why there's so many people in the hunting dog side of it that are like, you can't breed that close. You can't do, daddy, daughter, and mother and son and belly mates. Sure, you can.
Yeah. He don't believe in outcrossing, and he'll tell you that. You'll hear him say that. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Which, you can outcross. Well, it's not really an outcross, but you can breed looser. Well, I had a genetics guy talk about it last night. He said there's actually no line breeding. He said it's all inbreeding. Yeah. It's just how tight or how loose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Which, dude, you got to listen to that one. We're going to have him back on. And I probably didn't talk 3 or 4 minutes the whole time. That's the least I've ever talked in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
No, it'll be out next week.
Yeah, it should be out next
Monday. I guess I'm catching up to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I know you ain't been paying attention.
I've been in no service land, brother. I've been living in the woods. I ain't had a chance.
I wish I could do that.
We've been getting after it.
So what have you been doing? So let's hear these stories. We done did all this hardcore dog talking. So now, one more thing before we get into stories. The whole deal with the Plotts.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to go to the Plott days or the Plott Fest they're having?
Maggie Valley. Yeah,
Maggie Valley. Okay, because we're
I'll be there.
Okay, we're all going to be there.
Yeah,
and so I was just curious to make sure if you guys were going to make it and come up, because I've talked to Mr. Bob. We're going to go. I'm really digging the whole, which I've had Plotts in the past before, and when you hear this episode with Lee, you'll see where I sent a couple of them off a long ways away.
Yeah,
years ago. I didn't even realize Lee's the one that actually sent them till we talked last night, but he didn't know that they even come from me. They were sent to the Prince of Malaysia.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. We did a little tail, like a little tall tail deal about a dog not treating no monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Every bit of that. That's not a tall tale. That's all true. It's like, I don't know. Nobody's going to believe this, so we might as well say it.
I've heard that one.
Yeah. But anyway, I really like how everybody's, kind of comes together with the Plott stuff. Raul Cabrera, he's doing a coon hunt. It's an all Plott deal. It's coming up in December.
I tagged Stephen Fielder and all them in and told them to better come on.
Yeah, I'd like to see that that hunt happen. He was on the fence of having to call it because there wasn't quite enough people signed up, but I think he did. I think he wound up getting enough already that they could have if everybody agrees to do it.
Yeah,
So-
I'd like to see him do it. I mean, he's, the big thing about like the APA, they're talking about better breed and people get more involved, and that's exactly what that fella's trying to do.
Yeah,
And he's doing everything he can, and
he really is. I feel like he is.
is. No, yep, he is.
I mean, if it was you or I doing that, putting that, one of us putting on a hunt like that, I don't know that we could fill it up.
No.
But at the same time, I would definitely be trying to help you, and I know you would be trying to help me.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So like, hey, we're gonna try to help all we can. I think Eddie Horner said he was gonna go ahead and sign his dog. He's got an old female, and I'm telling you, I have tried everything in the world to get this dog. She will not say a word until her feet are on that tree.
Yeah,
and I love it. I like them silent dogs. And
oh yeah,
but that girl don't say a word. Then all of a sudden you'll hear it cuts the midnight air, just bam, like a knife. And I mean, she is accurate too. When she stands up there and tells on them, you're gonna see some eyes.
yeah.
And so now, all right, I'm gonna shut up about that. Now, tell us about this venture.
The venture
You've been on.
I don't have as much of an adventure. It was for me. I mean, like so, we hunt down here in these flat woods, anyways, and Gallberry City and Thorn City. And
we don't want to talk about Fargo because then I'm gonna make an excuse not to come.
Hey, let me tell you this, me because Walt's actually the president of the club I took y'all to.
Yeah.
And so me and him, we went up there with Josh and ran in the mountains. But the whole time we was up there, Tree 7 bear come back with not a scratch on us. Not a scratch or a briar or a cut or wet feet. But let me tell you, we could barely walk.
I was thinking, I bet them legs was sore though, wouldn't
it? we could barely walk, brother. I was so sore, out of breath, and just realize how out of shape you actually are,
Yeah.
And we didn't have it that bad. Really didn't.
Who all was hunting with y'all? Who all were y'all hunting with up there? Just Josh, or was Mr. Andy around too? Or
so Andy was supposed to come Tuesday, and actually Walt had a death in the family. We had to come home a day early.
Oh,
I was actually supposed to get Andy's litter mate that's too skinny, and the rest of them dog we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And bring it back to Cary. But we had to leave a day early, so I missed seeing Mr. Andy. But it was just me and Josh and Walt, and his friend Dakota that lives up there with him.
Okay.
So we went up there that morning, and we was going around, we was rigging. That's why I was saying that I got to watch that dog. We were talking about earlier, that pain dog. Watch him rig, and
yeah.
We go through one section and can't turn out at. And I bet he rigged 5 or 6 bear on the way there.
Okay.
We finally get to a spot, and Josh is like, "Hey," he's like, "We can actually, we can hunt this." So we go up one part of a mountain that day, and we all the dogs rig, his dogs rig, our dogs rig, and kick a couple out, and they go down in the ravine. And that one dog I was telling you about, that puppy, she ended up getting freaking snake bit right then. She got snake bit in Fargo before we got up there, but she got snake bit, and we're down there and jumped the bear, and had a split race. One dog went up, Josh's dogs went up and treed, and actually all of our dogs went a different way and treed, so we had 2 bear at the same time, so we split up, treed them, and then that was Saturday morning. And Sunday, we all went to church with Josh, and that was amazing. Probably one of the best services I've been to in a long time, going to an old-time church like that and listen to an old-time pastor and let him put the fear of God in you. You want to talk about make your ankles chatter and sweat, buddy? Let me tell you something. I encourage everybody to get out there and do something like that. You don't get anything out of this podcast, get right with the Lord.
There you go.
But anyway, so did that, and I went up there and we went to Sevierville, and he bred a dog, or we actually attempted to breed some dogs to one of his buddies, and they call him Boudreaux, and his grandpa is Coy Parton,
Okay.
old legend up there that way. I think I was told they're related to Dolly Parton and them, like cousins, like first cousins.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to see all his dogs in his yard, and you talking about bear catching fool, that fellow there. He's got bear dogs, and I'm talking about is a bear hunter. You hear me? So they the real deal. And but long story short, so next day went back out there and we treated 5 more, and ended up coming home Tuesday morning, and we done Walt had to go deal with everything that was going on with him, and so we went back to Fargo Wednesday, and we treated two Wednesday, fought 2 bear, treated them Wednesday, and then Thursday was Thanksgiving. We went back Friday, treated 2 more big old bear, and then that day on the way out, so it's me, Walt, and my daughter, my oldest one. I think she's the one that slept in your lap. I can't remember when we were on the buggy.
Yeah.
But we were on the way out, and I had a daggone, wait a minute, vine slapped me in the face and stuck me in my eyeball.
Oh, damn.
And we get back to the truck, man, my nose is running, my eyes are watering, and I can hardly see out my left eye. And sitting there, and I can tell she's worried. She kept looking at me like, "You all right, Daddy?" I'm like, "Well, I'll be okay, you know." And Walt and them went home, and she looked at me and it's like, "Daddy, I'm ready. I want to catch a hog." And it's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And I'm like, "Man, Daddy's wore out, ready to go home." And my eyes are watering. I can hardly see. And I got her driving my little Toyota around. And so
How old is she now?
She's 8.
8. I thought I was fixing to say, God almighty, she's a mess, boy.
Yep. So she's driving my Toyota around. We pulled all the collars off the bear dogs and stuck them all the cur dogs and the half and halves, and there's some dogs on top of the rig. And old boy that morning, he was checking, so it's deer season down here too, and he found a pretty good hog track, before daylight. And I had this hog on camera back there in kill days when we was on the drums and all watching for bear, and he was a good hog, and I figured that was him. And we went over about like 1 o'clock, and I turned the dogs out, and they was trying to trail him. They're doing the best they could to trail that hog, and he went all the way down the road. They had some corn on the side of the road. He went from the road to the bear drums, and from the bear drums into we call them a pond, but like an old cypress head, just swamp. And the only 2 dogs I had that could really take it was old Oakley and my female Jit Popcorn. That's what my daughter named her, was Popcorn. I thought I had a cooler name, but she decided to name her Popcorn. So Popcorn and Oakley, the only ones that could really trail the hog. I'd help him a little bit. I finally got him in there where I thought he probably went right on it. And man, I sat there for probably about close to an hour watching these dogs trail this hog, and called everything else up, and they finally treed up on him. And when I say treed, I just heard the Garmin beating, looking at his tree, and we got around there, we could hear him. They was bayed, and sent the rest of the cheerleaders to him, and they all went there bayed. And I looked at her, and I was like, "This is the one we've been trailing. If they're all in there baying like that, this is him, It's just me and her." And we get in there, and sure enough, it's just a wall of that daggum, was Mr. Kevin say, that shit. I mean, it was bad crap. And like I say, I ain't ran my hog dogs in a while. Old Poncho, my bulldog, he ain't caught one since June, July, sometime around there. And I look at him like, well, one way to get right back into it, brother, just go there and hang the biggest thing you're gonna run into in a while.
Yeah.
And I ain't seen the hog, I sent him in there, and it just shuts up, it's just quiet. And I poke my head in here and I listen on it here, and that sucker just just that old deep breathing, and dog just pulling on him. And I look at my daughter and say, "All right, come on, we got to go." So we get on all fours, we're crawling in there, and I get in there, and it's so thick, man, I can't even stand up. the briars are on top of the hog's back, and it's just me and her. And I already know him. I mean, he's big. I mean, he's 225, 250. I mean, he's no bigger than that, but no smaller.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna kill him, you know. I pull out the old pocket knife. I got one of them old outdoor edge knives and got the replacement blades. I want to stick him. That sucker bent like a 90.
Oh,
And
Lord.
I'm like, yes, what I said.
Yeah, I imagine
Lord.
so. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
So I get next to him and I'm trying to whittle this thing in there behind his shoulder. And it's starting to go on in there. And I read back, I'm going to try to punch this thing in there. And when I did, you know, I got blood all over my hands. And I hit it. It didn't move an inch. And my hand slid down that sucker and cut my hand all up.
Oh,
And
man.
so I'm in there blind in one eye now. I'm blind. And I got one hand. That's good. So I get on this joker's back. I use my left hand. I'm not left-handed at all, so it's, you know, trying to look goofy in there. And anyways, got him killed. So I get out and we get his old head off and all. We get back to the truck. And I get home and my wife looked at me and said, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "I can't see. I cannot see out my left eye. I'm seeing three of you and I can barely make out your face." So we go to the hospital. I got they call it 20/10 vision in my left eye. All I could see was a big E at the top of all the other letters. That was it.
Oh,
And
yeah. That ain't good.
They go, no, they go in there and dig fire out of my eye, and you know, it was just a long day. But
sounds like a good day.
It was a good day. I was tickled pink.
That's we had a good week, good Friday. We had Thanksgiving. We went on a little deer hunt.
Well, I got mad at him.
Yeah,
I went 3 days in a row and didn't kill no deer, and I was like, "This won't do." And so I killed 6.
Yeah, since Friday.
No, I spaced them out. We can only kill 2 deer a day. Don't leave mine on.
That's what I said. Since Friday, not on Friday. Friday, I think 5 were shot. Not by you, but I'm just saying with our group. But there was only 2 people shooting. So
many dead deer.
I think I got a picture they were literally stacked like cordwood, and then we went with we carried Jacob that night, and that skinny dog rigged. Probably a hog about like that when y'all caught 220.
We did the math, and it should have been 223 or 225.
Yeah. Well, we gutted it, brought it out, weighed it, and
I want to say it weighed to 186 when we weighed it, or 190 something.
Yeah.
And that was without the guts in it. Guts. So you had 30. It's 33.5% is what it's supposed to be. Anyway, 220, 240, somewhere there, and we measured. The right side was 3 even. Left side was 3 1/8, or vice versa, somewhere in there. No, that's good teeth, man. For
big teeth.
Yeah, for here, and they were 1.25 inches wide. They were just big blades. That was a really good hog for here, and I think both dogs got a poke on them. There wasn't nothing bad. Did Ruby's rib get broke?
Mm-mm. So on both teeth, the tips were knocked off, so they were blunt. So it didn't even break the skin on the dogs. They had
I thought it did poke them. Okay,
it had a bruise. On Pepper's, it did a little bit, but it was literally like it had just got nicked by a briar or something. There was just a little blood spot, but it was swollen. But it didn't break the rib lining or nothing like that. He wasn't taking on any air.
Yeah,
he just had a little swollen spot.
Which Pepper and Ruby and Max, all them, if they're run as a pack, if I run all of them together, they're solid, just nothing but catch dogs.
Yeah.
If you run them by themselves, say if I put Pepper out there with the bay dogs, he will literally size it up first. He might go in there and bark some and then hang it, if he can.
Oh yeah.
And I like that. I like a dog that's got enough damn sense to say, "Hey, I can catch this." But now, if there's another dog with him, they're going to hang him for sure.
Yeah, if he's on it, yeah.
Because we heard when we went down there at first, there was 3 dogs barking. I was like, I don't know if it's Ruby or Pepper, but it's a big hog. I can guarantee you that. And then all of a sudden, it got quiet. I was like, yeah, they got him.
Yeah, that old boar hog, he wasn't even grunting or nothing. I
didn't hear nothing.
He was stone quiet.
That's when I got a video and I started hollering, "Get to him, get to him, get to him quick." Because I knew, I was like, it's not a little pig. And then you hear that, you said, it was that. I said, "Oh, Lord."
Yeah.
That's the first good hog we've caught in a while.
Yeah.
But y'all catch big hogs all the time, though. Cody.
Not all the time.
Well, every time you go. You just don't go hunting that much, hog hunting that much. That's all it is. So you can tell that shit.
They ain't been on my mind, but they about to catch heck here soon. These bear go in. It's going to be a free for all, I tell you.
I was fixing to say, when does the bear gonna go in? You reckon?
Hey, usually around the last week of December into January, they'll be gone.
Okay, because
So.
we're really trying to go up and hunt with Mr. Andy and Jacob. Them try to make a hunt. I'm wanting to do it where I can hunt with Mr. Kiefer and them at the maybe the same time. Even I don't know if we can make it happen. Their second season comes in next week.
Yeah, sometime
the 16th.
Yeah,
it'll come back in the 16th. But and
where they hunt at?
North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be in Charlotte the week of the 16th.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I'll be there for work, but I might be able to.
You get off work, though, don't you?
Way.
You don't work 24 hours a day.
No, sir. That's what I'm getting at here.
Yeah. Oh, lucky here. Well, we might have to do that. We'll figure something out.
That's right.
I want to go back to that restaurant we went to. They had a 1 pound burger. I remember that.
Yeah, that was a nice restaurant. And we got to go to the Huddle House because the Huddle House actually gave us a shout out on Instagram.
Yeah, that specific Huddle.
Dude, I'm dead serious. Yeah, the waitress, the manager of Huddle House, she was like, "Hey, Dixie Doggers, we want you guys to come back." I was like, I think it was one of Mr. Andy's female friends.
Every woman that worked there knew Mr. Andy.
Oh,
My name.
yes.
They was like, Mr. Andy, do you need anything? Like, lady, you ain't even our waitress.
No, yeah, they was coming across. Look, there was a woman from McDonald's come over and waited on him at the Huddle House. Andy's a pimp. It was so much fun. Dude,
I ain't met nobody don't know Mr. Andy.
I know. And
everybody knows.
I didn't know he was like that high caliber Plott guy, dude. I was talking to Bob Plott. Bob was like, you know Andy? I was like, yeah. He's like, man, let me tell you. I was like, oh, okay. And then same thing with Junior Kiefer. Yeah. I was like, I didn't really.
I get why everybody likes him.
Which,
though.
I mean, I know they had Plotts and I know they had really damn good dogs, but I was like, I didn't know they were like,
Heck, I rode in a truck with him for about an hour and a half, 2 hours one day. Had no clue who I was talking with.
Really?
Not a clue.
He's one of the best guys you'll ever meet.
Nice. He's so
there's no doubt.
Boy, he sent us home. He had some canned deer meat. Mm-hmm. He put some canned deer meat. He's like, here, take this home with you. Well, he gave me a couple of mason jars. Some didn't have deer meat in it,
Yeah, peach.
So some of them did not have deer meat. It had some drinking stuff in there, and it was good.
Yeah.
It was even better than the deer meat.
It was some of the best.
Yeah, it's top notch. So
I thought I was going to save his life. One night we was in the bunkhouse up there in Tennessee sleeping, and we're about 8-10 men in this little bunkhouse now, and no electricity or nothing, and we're freezing, and he's there snoring, and all of a sudden he didn't snore, and I heard him quit breathing.
Uh-oh.
I'm looking, and Connor was with me. I was looking. I set up. I look at Connor. Connor looked at me. I'm like, all right, man, you got to exhale sometime or another.
Uh-oh.
Kept looking. They were like, all right, now you got to
breathe. Listen, wait till y'all get in there. We all have to. We're gonna have some hunt somewhere, sometime where Rodney's gonna be there, and we're all gonna be in the same room or close enough. And I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna freak out because that rascal's gonna make some. And I know I snore. I'm fat, and I have apnea. And
I thought you snored bad. I fucking thought you snored bad. One time Rodney snored so bad during the Tulsa Standard hunt, I left the hotel room and went and slept in the truck. I literally got up and went outside. I don't even know how this happened. I was like, I wish I had some earplugs. Rodney said, I got some. I said, what? He said, my little carry-on bag. And he's got that little...
He carries earplugs with him everywhere when Rodney's there. Yeah.
Rodney's got them. They're in his bag. He's had these earplugs. And I'm like, why do you have them? He's like, well, because I wake myself up, but I don't anymore. And I was like, are you for real?
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, give them to me. And so ever since then, if I had to sleep in the same hotel room as Rodney, I'm like, Rodney, where's your earplugs? But I was like, that's so funny. I was like, you've had these damn earplugs this whole time, and you never mentioned it. You never mentioned it.
That's funny. Yeah, because like he'll have that joker be snoring, and all of a sudden he'll cut one. I mean, loud. You're like, oh my God, he's dying. What happened? And
I caught foul.
yeah, you'll jump on him and be like, breathe, you bastard, breathe. And old Rodney, he'll catch another get.
Like a jailbreak coming out of Viaduct.
Yeah, he sounds like a one-pipe log truck. Like old Detroit flipping them backwards.
Rodney
I must have been flat wore out when we stayed with him during the Tulsa hunt, because I don't remember none of that.
You were tired. You probably died a little bit if you didn't hear him.
I probably did.
Well, he probably stayed up all night playing video poker.
Yeah,
I think that's what he did.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of that he does. And I've told him, I was like, just go to sleep, man. He's like, and he don't want to go to sleep because he's scared he's gonna keep people awake. I'm like, well, man, look, it'll be all right. And, hey, when we came down there hunting with y'all, it was so quiet. I was like, I kind of miss Rodney snoring.
Yeah.
And then he came outside, and I just dozed off, and he came outside. He said, I'm sleeping in the truck with you. I said, oh, no, you're not. And this is no joke. As soon as he started snoring, I fell straight asleep. I was like, oh, no, we're married. It's like, it's
y'all
bad.
are worse than married.
I love that rascal.
Oh, man.
Who?
What's there not to love, man? He's awesome.
The Big Show.
Uncle
The Big
Rodney.
Show.
Well,
Well,
he's
man,
got a pile of puppies up there.
Oh, yeah. This is the first litter he's, well, I say first litter. We bred, it was accidental breeding with Matt and Sally.
Yeah.
And which those puppies are turning out fire. All except for that one. He's
a prick.
He's been a prick. But anyway, we bred Louie, the Kimmer dog, over that BB dog of his.
Yeah.
And that bitch had 10 puppies her first litter. And all of them are healthy.
Oh, yeah. There's one, it's a big male, and he's about twice the size of the rest of them. And he is a stud. But there's a couple of little saddleback.
Yeah.
Well, they're brindle trim. They just got brindle legs. None of them have like a bunch of brindle on them at all. Most of them is just solid black. I was like, those dogs look good.
Yeah, they do. They look really good. Like you said, like you were talking about that color earlier, where they look black, then you get a little closer to them, you see that brindle.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of them are going to turn out.
I believe so. Because they're just, 4 weeks old? So
yeah.
Their color might change a little
well,
bit.
They're out of the kennel free casting around the yard already.
Oh, yeah, they're out running around. I was like, Rodney, how old are these dogs? They ain't even 5 weeks. I was like,
they're barely 4 weeks.
Because they was born like...
He said that's the first day that they had got out of the kennel. And I was like, well, you better put them up. They already done went 40 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, they casted. And now that little BB dog, she will cast. She's found hogs and she will bay a hog. But it's like, I don't know. She still don't have that. She's not a hard sit down bay dog. You know what I mean? Like she'll bay it. And if there's not another dog there, she might bay it for an hour. And then just by the time you get close to her, she'll come back, you know?
Yeah.
But she has every attribute other than that.
And Louis is not like that.
Yeah, no, Lou's like, you're not getting him off of it.
Louis said, do we need to hunt 12 hours or 16 today?
Well, when we carried him to Fargo, that's when he woke up. That's when his switch.
Louis struck several hogs. Now, he didn't finish no races, but, I mean, he was still young. He was only like 14 months old at that time.
Yeah.
So
but after we brought him back from there, it's like he was like a whole nother dog. When we went to Henry Williams,
like he ran hogs the whole
dude
time.
He hunted a mile deep just by himself, just hunting.
So, you can't beat that, buddy.
No, whatever happened in Fargo, we were happy with that.
Yeah. Louis the lunatic.
Came to the promised land.
I'm ready to come back. I really am.
I take my gas M&M dog down there and see what he'll do.
We're gonna have so much fun.
I've got him a lot better around people. He meets new people and don't immediately try to bite them. So now I think I can start taking him on some of these hunts. That's why I ain't been taking him, is because every time he'd meet somebody new, he'd be like, I think I'm going to bite you. And I'm like, it's just going to piss me off. He's just going to piss me off when I try to bring him around people and he don't want to act right. But now I think he's definitely got socialized enough.
Well, it's just being raised inside.
Yeah, exactly.
As a pet.
Yeah, and being in the apartment in Starkville, and like when Ella would stay with him, like Ella didn't really she took him out, but it still wasn't just enough new random people enough during his formative time.
So, well, man, that's what we just wanted to holler at you and see what you've been up to and see how everything's been going.
Yeah. That's about it, old buddy.
I'm glad everything's been going good and all that. So So all the kids, the family, everybody's good?
Oh yeah.
What about our buddy
The
Connor?
kids are good. Yeah, he's doing good. Just had his baby. I think he turned a month old today.
Yep.
Little boy, out in Hayes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's good.
He's been doing good too. So yeah, everybody's fine. The kids are doing good. Wife's mean as hell. So
yeah, she's probably I'm not going to say anything because she'll listen.
Yeah.
Maybe she might listen to this, and I think she's a beautiful, wonderful woman.
There you go. I agree.
Melody's great.
Yeah. I've been married a long time. I've learned a few things.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, me. I'll tell you, I ain't been hunting much, and yes, Kurt, she gonna tell you different.
yeah, you've been gone every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you do is hunt.
That's right.
You're supposed to be working, boy.
Trashy behind dogs.
Oh, well, brother, you got anything else you want to throw out there to any of the listeners?
Just be honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself about your dogs. Don't make excuses for them. You get there and they ain't at the tree. Don't make an excuse for why they ain't at the tree. You get there and they left the bay. Make excuses for them. Just be honest with yourself. If you keep lying to yourself, you ain't get no better.
Amen.
You lie to yourself, you lie to anybody probably.
Yeah.
So,
and that's I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
People need to be honest with themselves.
Yeah. Be honest about your dogs with yourself, because like I said, if not, you're just going to keep on feeding them. You're probably going to keep on breeding them, and then you ain't helping nobody out.
Nope. We talked to, when we was talking to Mr. Robinson with Lee Robinson, that's what he said. He said somebody had told him there was a difference. Oh, Bert Sorrells, I think is who he said it was.
Or might have been Pat Patrick. It was
it was one of the two. And he said the difference between, he said there's excuses and then allowances.
I think it was Pat.
He said excuses are when, a dog should do something and it didn't. He said allowances are when a dog does something that you can deal with. The dog has all the right attributes, but you'll put up with something, like Nate's talking about his M&M dog acting weird around everybody else, but he's fine, when he's hunting and doing all these other things. Okay, so we'll allow that part because he's not anybody else's dog.
Yeah, it's my.
He does enough. He does enough good to make up for the bad.
That's exactly right. But you got to be honest with yourself about that.
Got to be honest about it. Yep. Don't lie about it.
Because if it was a different situation where we couldn't take him hunting because he was causing a ruckus or biting people doing that, then you got to be honest with yourself and say, "Hey, we can't have him."
No.
Yeah. The dog will teach you a lot as long as you listen to him, you watch him. But eventually, you got to get smarter than the dog. If you're not smarter than the dog, you're not learning nothing. Eventually, you got to get smarter than the dog. So, anybody starting out, the dog's going. The dog's taught me more than anybody else has taught me anything. Just running them old trashy mutts that ain't ended up being worth the crap. Found out they could have been something, but probably ruined them at one point or another. You try to do better than the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And eventually, you should be the one guiding them.
Yes. Without a doubt. That's some good sound advice, and that's a good spot to cut it on there. And we will we're gonna check back in with y'all from time to time every few months or something like that. Because not only are you guys, we've all become friends and like family, but you have so much to offer to the dog hunting world. And there's a lot of young guys out there listening. They were the same young guys that we were one time. But we didn't have this. We had grandpas.
That's right.
And uncles and other older dog men that could show us things. So, man, some of these guys don't have that. And I didn't realize how many people we were actually reaching and how many people that listened to the things that we say. It's very humbling in the bigger picture. There's a lot of guys out there that talk shit. They're like, well, y'all doing a podcast, blah, 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 and all that. Y'all don't even hunt. Like, hey, I don't care what you think, whatever. All you got to do is try to take the same steps I take every day. You got the same 24 hours I got. So what are you doing? But I do have enough people on a daily basis that call or text or email or message us in some form or fashion. And there's people that have messaged me and said, hey, I was listening to that episode with Cody Godwin, or I was listening to that one with Randy Durrell or Uncle Pat or and they'll bring up something. And we're just talking, but those guys are listening.
Yeah, ain't no doubt.
They're
I've had
listening
guys
to
from
us.
Australia that's heard the podcast and call me up, or not call me, I'm sorry, text me.
Yep.
Or write me on Facebook and be like, hey, man, heard your name on a podcast. Can you give me some advice about this? And it's pretty cool,
It is.
Not that my advice is worth 50 cents, but I can tell you what I know and what I've done, because I've probably done it and screwed it up one time or another. So
I think
tell you what not to do.
I think that's the biggest thing, Cody, is that you've come far enough that you're honest with yourself about your dogs, and there's times where you screwed it up and there's times where it's worked.
No, yeah.
Well,
like I said, one of the biggest things I always heard is, don't fix it if it ain't broken. And I've always tried to, tinker little things here and there, try to make your own stuff. But that's something, and not that that's wrong by no means, because it works. Heck, mine's working great on hogs right now.
Yeah.
But there's old lines out there for a reason,
Yep.
And there's a reason why nobody's running July walkers on bears. There's reasons why not everybody loves Plott dogs on hogs. There's reasons behind it, and that's the reasons these older folks are running what they are running. Not because they don't know what they're doing and they're not wise. It's because they are. They've tried it. They've been in our shoes already. But not that you can't revamp it some ways or another.
Yeah, without a doubt, you can do your own little twist to it, because you might have something that you can breed to that they didn't have, that can add a little something to it, or bring something back up to the front. So there's nothing wrong with always trying to improve.
Old Kerry Brown told me one time, the only breed he didn't like is the one he didn't try.
Yep. That's a good saying right there.
You won't know what you got there until you try it. Worst thing you can do is cull them and move on to something else.
Yep. That's the thing. If people will do that,
Gotta give them a chance.
And if you got dogs, run them dogs first. Then you'll see it, instead of going to get a bunch more.
Yeah.
Run the ones you got. Then you might even be happy with them. You'll be like, damn, these dogs actually do hunt.
Sometimes.
Yeah, the biggest thing I found too, you start trying to do all this, like you talked about earlier, breeding. Find you a network of guys that you can give dogs to. Don't sell them. Just give them away. I ain't made $1 off a dog, and as long as I've been doing it, and to give them these fellas and let them run them. I mean, and I'm talking about fellas that that actually hunt and run hard, and let them give you honest feedback what you got or what they think about it.
Yep.
And it might keep on coming back, or it might not want what you got. So,
no, that's really sound advice there, and that tends to be the normal advice for people who have been doing this for a long time. That's one of the main things that a lot of the dog men that we talk to. That's one of the big things that they'll tell you is like, get you a good network. You got to be, like I was saying earlier, it's like I had 100 head of dogs. I can't hunt all them dogs. I can't do all this. But then again, who am I going to send them to? That was back in the days when I was that old curmudgeon that was like, well, I don't want nobody getting my stuff and doing this and doing that. Well, guess what? Somebody's got to hunt them, or I'm doing it for no reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
no doubt. And
then once I got to a point where I had bred everything so tight so many times, I was like, I'm out. I'm done with it. Because I knew all the time and effort that I put in it. And I said, I've done this to myself. I should have done these things. I screwed a bunch of stuff up. But, I had what I wanted in the end. But I didn't have nobody to share it with.
Yeah, but look where you're at now. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying. So it's this whole deal, the podcast that we're doing and going out and hunting with you guys, meeting people like yourself, it has done a world of good just for our dogs in general.
Oh yeah, I personally think that we have more potential. We don't have some of the best dogs we've ever had. currently.
No.
But I feel like we have more potential
Yes.
out of these upcoming to make better dogs than what we had suited to us.
Yeah.
The way we hunt, where we hunt, and we ask a lot of a dog. It's kind of like a bear dog is like we just ask so much to do of them because like even our straight laced hog dogs, we still might occasionally be like, well, like find this deer for me, you know, treat this squirrel, treat this coon, like just constantly just giving them a little side quest to do basically. And like you said, it takes a dog with a good mind. And I feel like that's what we're chasing because we've had dogs in the past that were super hard and super prey driven, but at times they didn't have the mind. They were just kind of.
They had the mindset for one thing.
Yeah.
And that's something a lot of people forget when they're breeding. They got all these traits. Got a dog with brains.
Yes.
It has brains.
Yes.
That is number one.
And that's been the
You
number
hear a
one
lot of people
focus
talking
of
about
ours.
nose. You know, you hear people talking like big trait for bear hunting. You know, especially down here where I'm at. You know, they talk about you bring these dogs, and this is just from I'm not naming no names, but folks from like right here where I hunt. You know, if I bring a dog down from the mountains, that dog probably don't have no nose. None of the dogs in the mountains have noses. Well, to me, a dog with brains knows how to use his nose. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, a dog is bred with his nose. Does he have enough brains to know how to use his nose?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's the biggest thing there.
Yeah.
You might have a whole litter of puppies, and only one dog out of that whole litter is, sound enough to know exactly how to use that nose.
Yeah.
Training a dog how to cold trail, it's not something you can really teach. It's something he's going to show you how.
He's going to show you. That's exactly right. I'm glad you said that because that's what I was going to say. Like the whole deal with the hot nose or cold nose and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They all have the nose.
Yeah.
It's whether that dog. I mean, and this is not a scientific method. It's just my personal thing. I think a dog has the potential to be as cold a nose as you can be or as hot a nose as you can be, all in the same dog. What does the dog want to do?
Yeah.
That's right.
What's his mentality? Because I've had dogs that were pups, young dogs, that would cold trail. And I mean had a cold nose. And by the time they were 3 years old, they wouldn't take a 2-hour-old track. All they wanted was hot nose. But they just wanted hot stuff.
And like we talked about this with Michael Smith one time at Downsville, was like we talked about dog developing preferences. And it's like, well,
that's what I'm saying.
Like people get fat because they like food that's typically not good for them, or they like food that's like they like eating too much. So it's like a dog could develop a preference and be like,
he wants a hotter track. Yeah, it's easier.
Like, he knows the end goal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some dogs be like, well, I'm lazy.
Yeah, and I wonder how. And it's just so hard to quantify that.
You might think I'm crazy, but I'm watching. So like, I got these two little mates. So these, I know. These half and halves I got, and the male dog, man, it's like he's got freaking ADD. He cannot put his head to the dirt and sit there long enough to grind it out. He's going to hit the bushes, and he is just going to take off until he can find it where it's hot. To where the jip, I can put her on it in the ditch, and she is going to work that thing and find it there and just take it from the ditch line. Where he cannot sit there that long and put his nose and trail that thing track for track. He is just going to blow out of there and just run, spastic, just looking for that thing, and then finally just take off until he can find it where it's hot enough where he can just roll out. But because I had the patience to sit there and grind that thing out like that.
Oh, I believe you 100%. I've seen it time and time.
It's like Louis. I think that's his issue. Like you said, he's real ADD, and like especially if like I'm putting him on kind of a specific track, like especially for like deer recovery or something. It's like I might have to start him over, especially if there's something new there, or just like he ain't been hunted or done nothing with in like a week or so. Like he's keyed up, he's ready to go. Like you said, he's ADD, and he's like, I gotta go.
You almost just want to let him run next to the truck all the way to the spot you're going to, just to get him burn some energy.
Well, that's like in our bay pen dogs.
Get him out, run them sometimes.
Yeah, we like literally chaos. I have to run him into one dog so that he will two dog.
Yeah.
Because he goes in there so hard and so fast, he'll run past the hog and have to do a damn donut, loop out, and come back. But now if I run him and put him in there the next time, he'll slow down and go in there and do what he's supposed to do. I mean, like you said, now I started taking him to the woods, and they've already become stronger dogs. Like,
Yeah, they definitely
legit.
have more confidence.
Yes.
And I feel like that's a very undervalued term. And a lot of people is like, well, this dog acts real funky or he does this and that. I feel like a lot of times the dog just lacks confidence because
That's what it is all the time.
It's either been a Me Too dog or it just don't really feel comfortable in its place or it hasn't found its place in the pack.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that definitely happens a lot of times. Like that dog don't.
What's
know
wrong
what
with
it's
most
supposed
dogs
to be
that don't
doing.
do it? I know that's what it is. Like they'll find that
And I feel
spot.
and I feel like they can be like a real Achilles heel for a dog. Like if it don't have the confidence, everything on the other end will fall apart. And it seems like this dog's just leaving and it's not sticking with the pig. When in all actuality, the dog just don't know itself. I guess I don't
Either
know.
that or it's a cool.
Yeah. Now sometimes they just fucking suck.
Yeah,
And that's
they
true
suck.
enough. Sometimes they just
that's the
fucking
ones I
suck.
have.
Finally, well, that's like we talked about earlier, right? Just sometimes you got to come to reality. I mean, like you said, it's either something you're going to put up with or something you're just going to keep telling yourself, oh, he'll eventually get it. He'll eventually get it, And sometimes they will, sometimes they won't.
Yep.
And it might take that one trip to Fargo to get it kicked on to where he's got it, right? But at the same time, the dog's going on 3 years old. It takes too long to make a dog anymore. It takes too long to find a dog. You can have a freaking 100 breedings and you only going to have 2 or 3 dogs, and maybe in your lifetime, that's that number one dog we was talking about earlier. And
yeah, if you're lucky, you get 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, if you're lucky, yeah, you're right. So I mean,
like talking about the allowances and stuff, that BB dog, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Because of her casting ability and her ability to dig a track and to run a track and the speed she has,
grind it out.
She will grind it. She will stay with it. But we put up with the one little quirk that she has, and it's confidence. That's all it is. She was a Me Too dog her whole life, and this past year she had to step up, and she's slowly getting there.
Yeah,
but she has so many good qualities. The one little thing there. So we take another dog and put into it that you can't take a stick and beat him away from it. So let's see what we have. And you might get lucky and make it, might not.
And sometimes with females, and I've noticed this just from the breedings you've done and the other people have done, is a lot of times with the young female, they don't have that confidence. And whereas like a lot of times when like a human woman, they have pregnancy, they go through like postpartum depression and stuff like that. It seems like with female dogs, it does the opposite.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get rougher, they get more bold, they get more confident.
They grow up.
Yeah. And I find that very interesting. I wonder what. I wish you could tell.
I agree with that statement.
I wonder what hormonal changes actually go in. That's when we interview H. Lee Robinson again, because we're going.
His name's not H. Lee. Remember,
Mr. Lee Robinson.
Do not say that.
Don't put H.
He said, "Don't put H in front of."
Don't put H. It's there for show. So
I can agree with that statement. I've seen dogs that were fine dogs get bred and have a litter of puppies turn out to be great dogs,
Yeah.
And I've also heard the inverse, because I know John Andrews, he was talking about a dog that he bred, and he was talking about how good she made, and then he bred her, and she was like, after that, or it might have been his dad.
I don't know.
I don't remember, but somebody was talking about the opposite happening.
I've never had it happen.
Yeah.
Opposite.
Yeah, I've never seen it personally.
I'm sure it's happened because they're dogs.
Yeah.
Because they're dogs. Everything that you think is right is going to be different.
They go nevering like never before.
Yeah, no doubt. So, all right, Mr. Cody, we about got 2 hours in on this one.
All right, brother.
Do you want to cuss anybody out over the airway? Just tell them, that. Well, you can be nice when you do it. You could give them a good old Bible cussing and tell them how much you love them.
I don't need no more enemies, I promise you. But
you didn't listen to me. That's what I said. You can tell them you love them. You ain't got to be mean about it.
No, I love them all.
But, I did too. I got 8 kids.
Real, though. Hey, find you one of them old time churches. Go to it.
Amen.
And let that man speak to you.
Yes, sir.
Because I tell you, he had me shaking more than any bear on the dirt or boar hog in a layover with one eye and a cut hand.
That's a good feeling, ain't it, brother?
Oh my goodness.
He's been on me pretty hard the past couple of weeks.
And it's good stuff.
It's been good. There ain't no doubt. And I'll be honest with you, the past couple of weeks, it's been tough, but it's been great for me mentally, physically, and spiritually. So that's all that matters.
When you need anything, just call me, Bubba.
I will, buddy. Well, man, tell everybody we say hello, and we're going to come see you pretty soon.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you.
All right, go. See you, buddy.
See you, Cody.
All right, man. See y'all.
All right, bye. Well, there's the man, the myth, the legend, the Grinner, Mr. Godwin.
Yes, sir.
Cody Godwin, yeah. Live on Telemundo. No, he ain't Mexican. He can't do all that. But listen, guys, everything that man said, 100%. He's a dog man. I think the world of him. I haven't known him that long, but the longer I know him, the more I get to know him, the more I see how intricate he is really thinking about these dogs.
Yes.
And it's about the dogs. It's not about himself. It's not about him creating that dog that can do the dual purpose, because that's what he was originally talking about. So, when we first started talking to him, that's what he was doing. And he does have some of it. But the reality part of it is he wants to bear hunt. So he has these bear dogs. And he has dogs that can do both of it. So my hat's off to him for doing the reality part of it and saying, hey, you ain't got to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We ain't got to reinvent the wheel, because that's a hard thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no doubt. So
I heard Grinner say one time to Carter Schultz, smile more, talk less.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people could learn a good life lesson.
I don't remember whatever we were even talking about.
It was just about like shooting the shit.
No, he's talking about getting properties and stuff like that. And he told me the same thing that's what he said. He said, smile more and talk less. And it's like, that's
true.
It does. If, he's a good guy. And you can tell his heart's always in the right place. He's got a good family, got a great hunting spot too. That's really why I like him.
Yeah.
He knows that. I'm just trying to use him so I can get down there and crawl in them gallberries. Freaking Fargo.
Some of it is rough.
Yeah, they rough, ain't no doubt. So, all right, folks. Well, that's another one wrapped up. One more time. Lord of mercy. And it's getting close to the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We probably won't have just one or two more after this one. And it'll be 2025.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I was born way back to the 70s.
It'll be our 5th season. So 4th year.
5?
Yeah, 5th season.
5th season? Yeah.
I think we're on our 4th season, and this should be like episode 96.
No, this is 100.
Of the 4th season.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, the 4th season is episode 100,052.50.
Or something like that. I don't know.
And we still don't get paid to do it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Little.
We still don't make no money. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
We don't make
So if
money.
y'all want to send us some money, I will accept it.
Oh, yeah.
So if y'all want to listen, if all our listeners that do this every week, I have talked to Nate, and I talked to a couple of people, like we're talking about doing a Patreon, because like we don't really upload the videos and stuff like that. Y'all give us some feedback on that. If we did a Patreon and we did some more of the old school podcasts like we did before, where we have some of them with the visual as well, and some of the good videos of like with Rodney and some of the shit that we do, because we can't post it. We can't put that on social media. Like, I mean, we'll go to jail. Like we're going to jail. I'm talking about like wrecking trucks. It's a whole lot of stuff. And there's actually some hogs caught, believe it or not. We don't just talk about it. There's hogs caught too. And some really good dog work. Training methods. We walk through, do exactly how we train the dogs, how we do all this. We do video by video. But I want to make sure we got enough interest in it before we sink a bunch of time into it, because our time is limited, just like most people's. And we put a lot of time into this already. And we love doing it. And would love to do this, continue to do this forever. This is nearly a full-time gig without any kind of full-time pay.
Yeah.
For sure. So, but if we did that, I already answer the phone when people call me. But like we would have it to where we had tiers, different levels, and we would have a top tier level where you can call. You have my personal number. You can call and talk to me, do consulting for whatever you need me to do as far as any kind of with the hog hunting and the dogs and stuff. and I don't even know much. And you'd be sad if you really called me and got some of my consultation. Your dogs would suck even worse. So keep that in mind. Give us some feedback on that, and make sure that you tell everybody that you love them from time to time. And y'all pay attention to what Cody said. Y'all go to church or the devil get you. Pretty simple. And Merry Christmas is coming up. So don't be a tightwad. Don't be cheap. Y'all give me something good and send it to me. I'll give you my address. And we love y'all. And we out.
Thank you.
See ya.
Hope y'all enjoyed that episode. Stay tuned for our new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. For questions, advertising, or just to chat, email DixieDoggers01@gmail.com.